Hi everyone, this is Cindee Wilkinson from Just Sponge It, and I'm excited to share my card with you today. I'm going to show you a different way to use your block and your spritzer to make these awesome backgrounds. This is the card that we're going to make today, and then here's another sample that I used the same technique, just different stamps. So let's get started. You're first going to need, I'm using a size B block, but you can use any size that you're comfortable with. And I've got some watercolor paper here in my Stampin' Spritzer. You're going to first want to wet your watercolor paper, and I'm going to do that off camera, because if you don't have it wet, you don't get a very good coverage. And then we're using 3 colors: Pool Party, Bermuda Bay, and Rich Razzleberry. So we're going to start with the lightest color first, and you're going to take and you're going to ink up your block. And I know you probably can't see this, it's got Pool Party on it. And then you're going to spritz it a couple times with your water, and then you're going to lay it on your watercolor paper and just kind of move it around a little bit. And you can, this lighter color I'm going to do twice because it is so light. Then you're going to clean that off and go to your second color. And you're going to do the same thing. This is Bermuda Bay. You can see this one a little bit better. I'm going to spritz it. There, you can really see it. And I'm going to lay my color down. And then clean off my block, and then my last color is Rich Razzleberry, and I'm going to ink that up, and that is really dark, and so I want to make sure I have plenty of water on this too. So do you see the interesting pattern that we've got going on here? Now, and you can even move the color around a little bit more by spritzing it again. And I'm going to do this off camera because I make such a mess. But you can see how the colors are kind of running. Okay, so let's close these up. And then to speed up this process, I'm going to use my heat tool, and I'm going to dry the watercolor paper. And this will also move the color around a little bit if you've got a lot. I highly suggest using several layers of paper towel underneath your watercolor paper so that you don't mess up your working surface. Okay, that looks pretty good for right now. Now, you'll notice on, let's see, this one is a better one. I've got these little watermark spots here, and I'm going to show you how to do those. It's really simple. You just take your aqua painter and make sure that you've got water coming out. Excuse me. And then just drop water dots wherever you want. And then I let those sit. I'm going to put this off camera, and we're going to do our daisies. I forgot to tell you that we're going to use the Daisy Delight bundle, which includes the stamp set and then the matching punch. All right, so we're going to stamp our daisy now, and we're going to stamp Bermuda Bay on top of Bermuda Bay. When you're stamping with this stamp, you want to make sure that your petals are going up and down so that your punch will go right in and be able to punch, and you won't have to cut any paper. And you're going to need 2. And now is a good time if you want to use your Wink of Stella it's easier to do it now before you punch. And I'm just going to add my little sparkle. And you don't have to be really neat because you're going to punch it. And you don't have to do the center because we're going to use the new Oh My Stars embossing folder, and we're going to punch one of the stars for the center. This is a really cool embossing folder, and I think I'm going to probably be using it a lot. Okay, so now we're going to take our punch, and this is what I mean. The punch, it's got the two petals that are, so you're going to put your punch in and line it up, and it should line up perfectly. There's one, and then you'll do the same thing with this one. Okay. Now, to get your petals to go like this, I'm going to see how they're curved. I'm going to show you how I do that. Take your mat, and you'll take the end of your paper piercer and just go in circles in the center, and it kind of cups your flower. So you'll do that to both of them. Then you will take your bone folder, and holding on to each petal as you do that, you're going to curve each petal. And you have to be careful not to do this too hard because you'll rip it right off. And then we're going to use a glue dot to adhere one to the other. So we're going to offset it like this. So now you've got a nice curved daisy. Now the embossing folder I was talking about is this one. These look like starbursts to me, but it's called Oh My Stars. So I embossed already some here at the bottom, and then I'm using my 1/2 inch circle punch to cut out just one of them, and then that's going to be my center for my daisy, and I'm going to put that on with a dimensional. And put that right in the center. Okay. All right, now let's go back to our watercolor piece. So we still got the water on there, but I found if you take the paper towel and kind of wick it, where it just sucks up the water, you can see the bleached areas. So I'm going to hit this with my heat tool one more time. That should do it. So now I want to decide, do I want my card to be folding to the side, or do I want it to be a top folding card? So let's do a top folding, yeah, let's do a top folding card. So we want to do our thank you, and that we're going to use the archival black ink pad because I've done some watercoloring and I don't want it to run. And this thank you also comes in the set. So you want to ink it up really good, and then I'm going to stamp it right on the right side at the bottom, and I'm going to hold it there for a second so that the ink can absorb into the paper. Okay, pretty good. I'm going to show you how to fix how it didn't stamp all the way. If you take your Project Life marker, you can fill in where it didn't quite stamp all the way through. And you can't tell that you've done it. I'm not going to finish it, but you get the idea. All right, so now we're going to add our ribbon, and I'm using the Bermuda Bay mini chevron ribbon. This is new. It will be available in the catalog on June 1st. So now to tie this perfectly, if you take and you hold your ribbon like this, bring your tail around, hold your tail, and pull the other side, you can get a perfect knot. And then just trim it with your scissors. Okay, now we can add this to our mat, and I highly suggest using fast fuse when you're using watercolor paper, and be very generous. Since we've wet this cardstock, it tends to want to not stick, so I usually add extra. Make sure you have your ribbon where you want it, and then we'll add it to our mat. And give it a good press. And then this can go on your card base. Whoops. And like this. These are my favorite colors. I have a Pinterest folder that has color combos in it, and this was one of the color combos that I pulled out of my folder. So now all we have to do is add the flower, and I'm going to add several glue dots because I want it to stick over the ribbon. Okay. So there you have it. So now you can see, got a couple of, so these all turn out differently depending upon how much ink you add to your watercolor paper and how much water you add. If you'd like to make this card and need the supplies, don't hesitate to go over to my website, www.justspongeit.com, and click on the Order Now button, and you can order the supplies for this starting June 1st. These are all in the new annual 2017-18 annual catalog. Thanks for watching, and happy stamping. Bye.